So what's up, YouTube? Spec V here. Morning of the 17th, I believe it is. Yeah, Wednesday. Yep, I started a new job in 6 hours, and I'm wide awake. So I figure I'll make a video for you guys. Sorry about a lot of the road noise. This freaking, what do you call it? Concrete roadways. These things are noisy as hell. Anyways. Very big item in the news. I mean, you'd literally have to be living off in the mountains with no type of communication outside world to even know of not happening. The bombings in Boston. Very, very sad and tragic event. 3 people in total have died because of the incident itself, and over 100 others badly injured and maimed. I want to say my deepest sympathies and condolences to the families of those who lost loved ones Monday, and I wish a speedy and safe full recovery for all others involved. Situations like these, they come at odd times in our history, in the sense of we seem to be a nation jaded on safety. We always believe that we're untouchable, that this kind of thing doesn't happen to us. It's not normal to have such bad things happen on our shores, and it isn't, and I would never want it to be. Don't take me in that type of note. What I'm saying is, this happens around the world a lot more than the media or anyone really cares to admit to. Albeit, they're primarily in third world nations, so having something like this happen to us is a lot more unforeseen. At the same time, it's also amazing that it doesn't happen more, and thank God that it doesn't happen more, because we'd have unmistakable, or we'd have a ridiculously high amount of casualties, if this happened like once a month or a couple times a year. And luckily, the last time we suffered really, really huge attacks like this, they come once in a blue moon. And thankfully we didn't suffer as many deaths from this situation. But a lot of people act like it's something that doesn't happen in the world. They act very, very I guess closed off, in the sense of, like, you don't hear about bombings, you don't hear about that. It's because the media doesn't play on that. It's not harming American citizens. It's not hurting any assets that they're interested in. So it's not playing into their media story of something that's hypeable. It's not something that's going to cause people to click on their links, watch their TV, and follow on a storyline. So this does happen a lot more than, like I said, people would care to admit. And it's a really, really sad situation all around. So right now, some of the facts that they do know, and some of the things that they suspect. Let's see, the facts that they do know: 2 bombs, pressure cooker systems. So they took a pressure cooker, like you would for doing a roast or anything like that. They had some type of explosive in the center of it, packed with nails and shrapnel, or nails and ball bearings on the inside. Shrapnel was created also by the metal pressure cooker itself, so that sent out large shards of very, very sharp, high-speed steel outwards from the explosive that was in the center. So you have 3 main layers: core, shrapnel, or core, your primary shrapnel, which is the nails and ball bearings, and your secondary shrapnel, which is the actual container itself. Now, bombs like these are very, very, what some would call rudimentary, but they're actually very commonplace in the sense of IEDs. They're very, very basic. They're easy to make. You can get everything you need from a trip to Walmart. You could buy the supplies and have them made within, say 30 minutes. And they're not that hard to figure out either. I mean, obviously, you've seen the results on Monday. A lot of mass casualties in a very, very condensed area, because it's throwing out so much debris. It can make for quite an effective attack. Now, Two of those are placed, one on one side of the street, and one was, I believe, on the other side of the street down the road, about 100 yards off, something like that. Let's see. Right now, they believe they're placed in black duffel bags. What that means is that the deliverer, the drop-off person, they would have had to have gone through the crowd. They don't know exactly how long. They don't know what the timer was set to. Go through the crowd, drop off the package, and make the detonation either by remote or by timer onto the target. Right now, that's a big thing that's being investigated, and hopefully we'll know, and we'll track down this bastard or bastards, and bring them to the full degree of justice possible. There were some suspects early on. A lot of them were media fueled. The one that was the cause of a major search at a hospital was later cleared of charges. He was a Muslim, and he was involved in the blast, but he was a victim, and he just happened to be there. I don't believe they ever released why he was listed as a possible perp, but he was seen that way at one point, either because of his race or because of other actions at the time. So that was one situation that was cleared up very quickly. A lot of rumors have been started up a lot about this, and most of them are not true. Most of them they hold so little water that even paper towel holds more water than that. So it really right now it plays more into, you have to give it time. You have to really give it a lot of time and let the investigators do their work. The internet has a lot of its own searches going, people sifting through hundreds of photos looking for any clue that they can, trying to help investigators along. In this day and age, the internet has actually proven to help out in certain situations and finding information. In a couple car stealing situations and kidnappings, the internet has proven useful in tracking down questionable subjects or objects. So the internet is doing its work, and I applaud them for actually trying to help out. It's a lot of work to be done, and Lord knows the investigators could always use more help. It's just a crazy situation to be in right now, and it's throwing a lot of people into a media frenzy. The thing is, you notice a story like this, though, because it develops so slowly, it gets dropped off the radar very, very quickly. I mean, literally from one day to the next, it got taken over by a lot of other stories. And it's part of one of the things I really don't like about this country is that, political scandals they'll stay on that for months, if not longer, because that makes for good television or good sales. But stories like this, report on the good things, report on the way people helped out. They did very little to report about, the runners and the workers who, after the incident, they ran to local area hospitals to donate blood to help with the situation. They did very, very little to point out the quick and speedy recovery effort of a lot of the first responders that were there, that were made up of police, EMS, and also National Guardsmen who were in the area. And that's one of the sicknesses, I guess, of our media, is that they'd rather report on, if it's not going on, if there's not more action, if there's not more scary things to report on, they're not going to report any more on it, because it doesn't make news, it doesn't shock people. They like to shock, they like to scare, because that's what sells headlines. And it's kind of sad to see, but like I said, you can look at the media. Watching time stories happen like this, they'll focus on the worst parts of the story. They'll focus on the saddest parts. They'll never focus on, or I shouldn't say never. I'll take that comment back. They will rarely, and in small doses, focus on the lighter side of the stories about how people worked against odds in these situations to help people out that are affected by this. And it really does make me sad. Another thing that makes me sad is the way people are treating the situation, in the sense of a lot of people are bringing a lot of jokes out of it. I mean, I know the internet always does. A lot of things come out of it really quickly. People bring up hoaxes very quickly on purpose, and it's just not necessary, because it's just gonna feed the idiocy and the stupidity in the situation. And I know no matter what I say is gonna change it. I'm just gonna say it anyways, because it's the internet. I don't give a shit, and fuck you if you don't agree with me. The thing is, people are, they posted, something about the whole Family Guy predicted this shit. Come on. I mean, alright, I'm not a Family Guy fan, but seriously, someone recut that and made it look like that. Really? You're really gonna make it look that way? Yeah. But it really disturbs me how ill people can be about a situation like this. And I guess that's my 2 cents on it. The best thing you can do, I guess, to prevent this, because a lot of people are calling, well, maybe there should have been more security, maybe there should have been, metal detectors and shit like that. The thing is, that's all, good. That's all good and safe. It costs more money. Might prevent it, 1 in 1 billion type of case. I mean, like I said, a situation like this hasn't happened in a long time, especially at a sporting event. I believe last major sporting event we've had attacked was the 98 Olympic Games in Atlanta. And it's situations like that you really can't prepare for. There's not a lot you can use to figure out what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. The biggest defense you can have against situations like this is the individual people. It's like in the airports, they have a program that's called the SPOT program. I'm not going to go into the actual what the acronym means, because I can't remember, but basically what it is, it's plainclothes officers for the TSA that look for suspicious activity. The biggest thing you can do, keep an eye out. That's the biggest thing you can do. Keep an eye out, report anything that you see just looks odd. That's all. Have someone else look into it. Just be like, hey, this guy was doing this, I'm not sure, it's not being paranoid, it's not putting in a false report. You're just saying, I'm keeping a lookout, this doesn't look right to me, it doesn't feel safe with me, I'm just going to make sure someone else looks into this, and I can feel okay about it. That's all. As long as, you're looking out for it, that's one step further towards preventing any type of disaster. And not even a disaster. Here's a situation. Something as small as, telling your neighbor your tire looks like it's got a small leak on it, could save his life. If you see someone driving down the roadway, like a tire that looks like it's got a leak in it or something like that, or something that's dangerous on it, you're gonna warn them. You're not just gonna be like, oh well, they'll figure it out, or they already know about it. Sometimes just be like, try to get their attention. Be like, hey, you got something going on there. It's the same type of thing. It's just you've got to be that frontline defender. It's the same reason why I'm armed. I keep a firearm loaded in my home. It's because I'm a frontline defender. I'm going to be the first step that I can be. If I can't do anything more, I'll call up the police or whoever's higher than me, and I'll let them know of a situation. If I'm at an airport and I see someone acting weird, I'll let TSA know. If I'm at a baseball game, something going weird, I'll let police or security know. Just be hey, point that out. That's one of the things that a lot of people are. Why can't the government do this? Why can't stop relying on other people to do things for you? Rely on yourself. If you cannot take some of the responsibility to watch out for everybody else, watch your own actions, then what good is what anyone else is going to do? You need to be the first responder. You need to be the one looking out for everybody, because there's not always going to be somebody there to watch out for. So you got to be as much of an eyeball as you can be, and as much of an eyeball as you want someone else to be. You've got to be that frontline responder. You've got to be that first person to say, hey there, that doesn't look right, call somebody on it. But anyways, it's like I said, that's just my 2 cents, and once again, I pass off my deepest condolences to everybody involved in the incidents. And hope you all stay safe. And I hope everyone has a good rest of the week. Like I said, stay vigilant, watch out, and be smart. This is Spec V. Thank you very much for listening. Y'all have a safe day.